Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about how to create tables in Microsoft Excel and then transfer those into Microsoft Word. So the tables that you get in SPSS are fine. They give you lots of great information, but they don't look very nice, and they're also not very helpful when you're going to publish something. They're not usually in the format that publishers want. There's also a lot of extra information that we don't necessarily need or want. So today we're going to talk about how we go about making those. So before I begin, I just want to show you the sample project that is posted on Canvas. So in this sample project, you'll see that we've got a nice little introduction, which just has a little bit of information. They've got one citation there. They're just talking about kind of what are the questions that they're using and how are they using those. Then they've got a little methodology section here where they talk about where the data come from, that it's from the 2012 General Social Survey, and then they talk about what are the types of statistics that they're going to run. And then they talk about their hypotheses. And so they give the hypotheses for their particular data. And then they talk about what is my independent variable. Here it's respondent's highest degree achieved, so it's a measure of education. And then their dependent variable, which is belief about the government's responsibility to reduce income differences, so inequality. So they give the exact question that was asked and how it was worded. And then we go into the results section. And here is where you'll notice a difference between these tables and the tables that you get in in SPSS. And so we want to make sure that our tables look nice. We want them to stand apart from just everything else. So how do we get from SPSS to looking nice like this? So in Canvas, I have also posted some sample tables, and those are tables for my dissertation, so they're a little more complex than we probably need. So I'm going to walk you through making a frequency distribution and a couple of other tables using data from the 2008 General Social Survey. So I'm just going to run the statistics here in SPSS, and then we'll copy them over to a blank Excel document. So to start with, I'm going to choose the variable, let's see which one I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose race. That's the one I'll choose. I'll choose race because it's got 3 categories. So we'll go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequencies, and then I'm going to change that to Variable View. I'm going to choose Race, and then I'm going to get my statistics. So I'm going to choose the mode because this is a nominal level variable, but I would also want to choose mean, median, and then standard deviation and variance if that were necessary. So I'm going to click Continue and then OK. And so here's my table. So we've talked about before how the percent is not really necessary, and actually the frequency is not necessary if you give the total in. So we really are just wanting to focus on the valid percent here. So in my table, let me minimize that. Let's kind of scooch this over a little bit. So in my Excel table that I'm going to create, I'm going to have fewer columns. And I'm also going to make sure that I have titles and further information that we need. Because remember, tables should stand alone. Should a table fall out of your paper, it should be able to stand alone. So I'm going to title this maybe Table 1, Frequency Distribution and Descriptive Statistics for race. And then I'm going to put in parentheses my n. So n equals 893. So we're only focusing on the valid. The reason so many are missing is because I made the data set smaller so that it would work better with home versions of SPSS back when they used to have those. So that's going to be my first row. And then my second row, this is where I'm going to put the categories. So I'm just going to title that race, and then this is going to be percent, and then I'm also going to give the cumulative. Yeah, we'll do cumulative percent. Okay, so then for race, I'm just going to list those the same way that they're listed in SPSS. and then I'm going to give the valid percent. So I'm just copying that from this column here. So 76.0, 15.3, and 8.6. And then in cumulative percent, I'm going to do 76.0, 91.4, and 100.0%. Okay, so a couple of things have happened. You'll notice that when you do a 0.0 in Excel, it just gets rid of the decimal. So I'm going to highlight all of those, and I'm going to right click, and I am going to format cells. So whether you're working on a Mac or a PC, this will work either way. So I'm going to format cells, and I am going to choose that I want a number with 1 decimal place. So even if there's a 0, it's going to give me a decimal place. All right, so now that you have the numbers in there and you've got the decimals showing where they should, now it's time to make it look pretty. So a couple of things that you can do. So you're going to want some lines, right? So let's go ahead and expand this so that we can see all of our options. Maybe, there we go. Okay, so we are going to, first of all, combine these into one cell. So we're going to merge. So up here you'll see the merge option. We're going to merge and center. And then we are going to wrap the text. And so what that's going to do is it's going to give you this nice little title. Oh, we have to go down one more line. There we go. And then I want this to all show up nicely. Let's see if I can get that onto the next line. There we go. So that looks better. You can also mess around with it in Word once you transfer it there. So I'm going to wrap this text so that cumulative percent fits. I'm going to center these things. I'm going to center the percentages. And heck, I'm going to center this too. Okay, so then I'm going to want some separation between the title and the rest of the table. So I am going to find my lines. Okay, format cells, border. Sometimes there's a little, oh, there it is. Okay, so that's one way. You can right click and then format borders. Or this little guy right here, this is also borders. That's what I was originally looking for. So if I want borders around the whole thing and I just want to keep it simple, I can just do that. And now I've got lines where lines need to be. It's all good. So now I'm going to put it in to, where am I going to put my mode? So I need to put my mode, and any other descriptive data. So down here, I'm going to put this as a little footnote. So I'm going to put a little guy here. Okay, so if I highlight the 1 and then go to font or go to format cells, and I want it to be a superscript. So that's going to make it up. See, it puts the 1, makes it little and up above. And then down here, I can put a 1, and this is my key. So mode is white, and that fits with the highest proportion. And I'm going to do that. Okay, so then I'm going to copy and paste this into Microsoft Word. And I'm just going to paste it in. So I just Control C, Control V, get it into Microsoft Word. And then you can kind of mess with the formatting here. So you might want to change the font style or size or whatever. Make it fit in with your theme. And that's it. And now you've got a table that looks much nicer than this in your document. So that is a frequency distribution table. You can use the same principles to make tables for other things. And just take a look at the examples that are posted on Canvas and work to make them look more professional than just pulling things out of SPSS. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.